Boom. Hey, welcome to the Basketball Soapbox brought to you by the Mr. Vincent podcast. Emmanuel Vincent has joined me today. This is a collab, right? He's the host of the Mr. Vincent podcast. You guys can check that out on Spotify and other listening platforms where he covers many sports, kind of like me: basketball, wrestling, football. He had a great piece about LeBron the other day, as well as the Royal Rumble recap. Check him out. He has a lot of people visiting, insiders and stuff like that. Give that a listen. Give that a check it out. Links will be in the description below. But Emmanuel, thank you for joining me, man.
Yeah, dude, no doubt, man. I was trying to get in a podcast for a minute, but I was glad you hit me up.
Yeah, especially with the explosion of today's episode. The trade deadline in the NBA just going absolutely insane. Last night, we can get right into it. We're basically going to be talking about the trade deadline. Kevin Durant heads to Phoenix. I was kind of winding down for the night, about to go to sleep. Just finished watching the Mavs and Clippers game, seeing Kyrie in his new environment. And they're waiting to talk to Kyrie after the game. They just won their game on the road against the Clippers. They just had their number, as well as Phoenix and other teams and stuff like that. So to see Kyrie Irving come out there, I'm like, oh, let me see what Kyrie Irving has to say. And Scott Van Pelt is in a frantic panic. He's like, oh, wait, we're about to go to Kyrie Irving. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, wait, nope, something just happened. Kevin Durant just got traded to Phoenix. And I'm like, what? It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and that breaks. Woj gives out the information there.
So what broke during the broadcast of Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt during the Kyrie post-game interview?
Like right before Kyrie's about to come on.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So
that's crazy.
Like I was sitting there like, all right, I'm just waiting to see I'm just winding down for the night, and that literally pops up. Scott Van Pelt just says that right before they go to commercial. They come back. They got Woj on there. The Suns are getting Kevin Durant, T.J. Warren, sending out Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, and 4 first unprotected picks to the Brooklyn Nets. And I was just flabbergasted by this trade because I'm like, we knew Kevin Durant wanted to go there in the offseason previously as a trade demand, trying to pick teams and figure out where to go. He had Phoenix on his list. And to see this come full circle, especially after Kyrie Irving getting traded, him going to Phoenix, a rival of the Mavs in the Western Conference right now, to see that happen, I was floored by it. What are your thoughts about that?
Man, like I said, I can swear, right?
Yeah. We can.
Oh, cool. It's making sure. When I first seen it, I'm like, fuck. Damn. I was so happy the Lakers made the moves they made, and then I see that when I wake up because I didn't see it real time. I woke up like maybe like around 4 or 5 in the morning. It's like look at my phone notification. Kevin Durant gets traded to the Suns. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I find out that they don't give up Ayton. What the hell they give up then? I'm like, yo, like so you tell me they go able to keep CP3, keep Devin Booker, and keep DeAndre Ayton to go along with KD. That's crazy to me. But yeah, it's just really like shifted the whole power. Not the whole power. I'll say kind of shifted the balance in the NBA, kind of like what he did when he went to the Warriors in 2016. Because you don't really see a player KD's magnitude get traded mid-season. But then again, we don't really see a lot of players in a situation that he was in a dysfunctional organization that is the Brooklyn Nets. So I think they both go hand in hand. But yeah, it's crazy. The West is really deep. A lot of star power in the West that it's just like if I'm Boston or Milwaukee, I'm relieved that we don't got to deal with the Nets anymore, so you can cross them off the list. And now it's just like it's a 2-horse race for the Eastern Conference Championship.
Yeah, for real. My first thoughts, of course, when I was just reading reports about it and Woj breaking it down, he was saying this trade basically that was Mikal. They were reluctant to trade Mikal Bridges, and he was like the last final piece to make that trade happen. Especially with the picks in there, and you just think about the age of Kevin Durant. He's 35, 36 years old right now. Basically kind of similar to how the Lakers did everything to get Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, giving up those picks for this chance to get a championship, getting a last final run for CP3. I thought it was big time. I thought it was big time, especially for Phoenix, especially with that new owner. And Brian Windhorst came out and said the owner really pushed a lot of paperwork to get through so that he can be in control and make a big splash trade. And boy, did he ever. Like, this is one of the
Yeah, because I think I saw word who I said that he was supposed to take over like after Valentine's Day, but the
Yeah.
process got sped up because he was like trying to make a move, make a big splash, and boy did he ever.
I'm like, damn. Like, I can't think of a trade like that, a trade deadline like that. I can't think of off the top of my head of anything that massive or any trade like that to happen. And especially
Yeah,
the caliber, especially a guy like a caliber of Kevin Durant, you know, his history, MVP, finals MVP champion, one of the best scorers we've ever seen in the game, like getting traded again. It's like, yeah, we've never seen nothing like that. Never.
yeah, man. I mean, you think about it, just like arguably, I think like them. I've never seen anybody score so effortlessly, at least on the perimeter, like KD does. And he added him to Devin Booker and CP3 and Ayton. And the thing about KD that I love about his game, and Tim Legler brought this up, best analyst in basketball on ESPN. No lie, on first take, he made a great point. KD is probably the easiest superstar to blend into an offense because he doesn't. He's like a chameleon. He can play with anybody. He doesn't need the basketball. He plays in the flow of the game. Doesn't different the offense. Doesn't slow down the ball movement. He just gets his buckets. Like he can score 30 on 12 shots. So everybody's gonna get there. It's not like Book or CP3 is gonna be out of rhythm. So he's just a plus in any offense he goes to, which is very, very rare, as I would say, from the majority of superstars who ever played the game of basketball.
Yeah, like everyone has their fit. Like LeBron has their certain fit. They got to have the ball in their hands. Jordan would probably have to have the ball in their hands. Magic Johnson would have to have the ball in his hands, right? So to see somebody as versatile as Kevin Durant, especially being integrated into this offense, especially we love Chris Paul, point guard. His ability, Kevin Durant's never played with a point guard like this. He's always played with a scoring first point guard, mindset point guard. Now to get somebody here who's going to get him easier shots, set him up. He's playing next to Devin Booker. He has a big guy in DeAndre Ayton that can set screens and pick and roll actions with him. And even though I think the Suns did lose something defensively here with Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges going out, you had a guy that gets 30 a night easily. He's basically a 50, 40, 90 guy for his whole career, on the verge of that every year, in and out. To add that to now Devin Booker, who's coming back from injury, who's gotten a little rest. You know, when guys come back, they get a little rusty coming back, but Devin Booker looks like he's going to hit the ground running again. Chris Paul has come back, hit the ground running again. DeAndre Ayton has been dominant, getting his first 30 and 15 games back-to-back recently. So to see that and then add Kevin Durant to that, it's just like, I mean, and not even to think like the buyout market's not even open yet. So like guys are going to get bought out. Like Phoenix is a viable option now. Like, hey, I can go help Phoenix win. I can go be a part of that team there. So I think that's something that people haven't really thought about either. But Kevin Durant, man, like Stephen A. Smith said he's lucky. He's really lucky to be on Phoenix and get out of Brooklyn and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I got to agree, man. Like for him to basically have everything falling down around him the past couple years in Brooklyn to now go into a stable situation where you know Chris Paul's the leader of that team. You know Devin Booker's going to get his buckets. You don't have to worry about where he's going to be on the court. DeAndre Ayton, even though people have their questions about him, the stability there on the front court with him, he's going to show up every night. He's going to produce. And now it's just like Kevin Durant, as you said, as Legler said, Kevin Durant just joins that. This team won 64 games. They have Monty Williams as a coach. Like, you're not going to have that instability that you had in Brooklyn the past couple of years. Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're a Phoenix fan, you got to be ecstatic. I mean, 2 years ago, your team did go to the finals, but if we keep it real, they caught a lot of breaks. A lot of injuries did occur on their run to the finals. But nonetheless, they got there. Then they lost in 6 to the Bucks. Then follow up with the year after. They 64-win team, first in the West, and then losing 7 to the Mavs in a stunning fashion. I'm like, what the hell was that? Yeah, and now you followed up with getting a top 15 player to ever play the game to go along with that team, and takes a lot of responsibility off of Chris Paul's shoulders, which is good because especially he's always been injury prone, but now at this advanced stage in his career, I think he's about to be 38 in May. So this is just a plus.
And also, especially for Chris Paul, it takes the scoring load off of him. I think, and especially with Phoenix, with DeAndre Ayton not always being consistent on the offensive end. So to sit there and not have the pressure on Chris Paul to score every bucket. And I think that's something that Chris Paul has had to do over the past couple of years. And it's like, if he didn't get 20 for Phoenix, they were going to play bad. Like in terms of games that they really needed in the playoffs and certain stretches like that, where he really was relied on to score. And it's like at that stage of his career, 37, now 36, 37, 38, he can't do that. Like that's just not going to be his responsibility. And now you just get this nuclear weapon, Kevin Durant, 30 points per game, boom, added to your offense. And it's like, wow, this is crazy. Like I can't even think of a move like that.
Yeah, and I mean, you see a lot of people are saying now that they're the favorites in the West. I can't knock them with taking that position. Now, I mean, Denver. Yeah. I think Denver will have something to say. I'm not sure about Memphis. I think they're still a little too young. They needed to add a real like vocal leader, veteran into the locker room, which they didn't address at the trade deadline. So I really think it's just Denver right now that can realistically compete with the Suns. Or then we can't knock the Warriors as well too. They got to be mentioned as well, just because they had the pedigree. They've been there so many times. Steph Curry is who he is. Clay is finally coming along. I love the acquisition of getting Gary Payton back Jr. So
yep. So I mean speaking about other contenders in the West, the Nuggets add Thomas Bryant. They trade Bones Highland to the Clippers. So there's a little bit of movement there. They got a little insurance for Joker as a backup big, or he can play next to him, whatever the question is, if Aaron Gordon's in foul trouble or whatever the case is there. You can give Joker a rest there at certain points in time. Looking at other teams, Memphis, I thought they missed a big opportunity to make something happen. I've always been a personal fan of saying, hey, yo, get rid of Devin Books. You need Devin, what's his name? Did I miss his name? Dylan Brooks, my bad.
Oh, Dylan Brooks,
yeah. I always felt like they can get an upgrade. They didn't do that. As you said, they didn't add a veteran. They needed some three-point shooting. Ironically, I think they got Luke Kennard in the Clippers trade again with that whole trade going there. So to see Memphis, they did add shooting and add somebody there that's a good shooter, a valuable asset. But I just felt like there was a misstep there. There was rumors that they were trying to get OG Anunoby. That fell flat. I thought that would have been an awesome pickup for them, especially with Kevin Durant now going to the West. And it's just crazy, man, to see Phoenix back in this position, and then to see a team want to, certain teams keep a window open. They hang on to guys too long. They don't retool correctly, but to sit there and just be like, hey, we're going to open this window, because I've made a couple videos on my channel, on my podcast, that the Suns window is open. It's closed now. What's going on? Ayton's going to get traded. This team's going to break up. And to revive that, like that's awesome for Phoenix, man. Because a lot of people thought they were frauds and stuff like that. Like the doors closed. Now they still have to go out there and perform and get things done. But it's like no less than the Western Conference Finals appearance, barring injury or anything like that. And they should be a shoo-in for the finals. I think especially with Kevin Durant added to that offense, it's going to be tough to beat, man. It's going to be tough to beat.
Absolutely. But I do think the likes of like Boston and Milwaukee, if they were to meet Suns in the finals, either one of those two teams, I think they can give them a serious challenge for the tip.
Yeah, for sure. I like what Boston kind of did. They're the best team in the East. Well, the best team in the NBA. They really didn't have to make a move. I would like an addition of a big man. They did get Mike Muscala. As for Milwaukee, we know Jay Crowder. Brooklyn moved him to Milwaukee, so that's a good addition for them. It adds to another 3-and-D guy that they can rely on, especially Jay Crowder. He's been getting rest the whole first half of the season, so he's going to come in there and help Milwaukee.
Yeah, there was some people on. I think Brian Winters was like he had some concerns when I was watching the trade deadline special for NBA Today. I think he said that he had some concerns about Jay Crowder being off for so long. I'm like, dog, he's not like it's a top 3 player on the team. I think he'll be fine. Like if it was like a level of Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday, then you have some worries if he's been off for 4 months. But it's just gone, and it's good that he just kind of reminds me of like when they acquired PJ Tucker. He kind of fills that void, because I think they were missing that ever since they let him walk to Miami.
Yeah, they definitely missed that type of dynamic with the 3-and-D guy in the corner and stuff like that, and being able to be switchable on defense and stuff like that. So that definitely helps out Milwaukee. Let's continue.